What is going on? Today is what, Thursday? So we are thriving on Thursday. So happy Thursday, you all. Come on in for the third part of our Women in Leadership and Women in Business series, a confidence check. So we can talk about our third topic for today. And then when you get in here, I need you to let me know that you're here. And then also make sure you share this with somebody because there's somebody that needs this information for what we're talking about. So the whole entire week, I have been talking about having your confidence as a tool in your toolkit and how to properly use it and exercise it, right? And so what we've been diving into over the past couple of days is one. So for the first day, we did we talked about confidence, your confidence being crushed from previous life experiences, previous 9 to 5s that you may have had, previous relationship endeavors that you may have had. We've talked about all of those things for day one. And then in day two, what we talked about a slow death from your 9 to 5, either move up or move on. So we talked about how in your 9 to 5 setting and just in also in your business as well, how you have one or two choices. You can either move up or move on. You can choose to elevate or you can choose to stay stagnant. It's completely up to you. Hey Monique. If you're here, let me know that you're here. And then also number two, share this with somebody. Um, so they can know about this great information in the conversations we've been having over the past couple of days. Okay. So, like I said, for day two, we talk about your confidence being silenced because you have had to learn from your 9 to 5 how to adapt, how to learn the ways of the environment that you were in that may have caused you to kind of shrink back in your confidence a little bit. So, it may have caused you to become somebody that you didn't expect to become. But today, we are going to talk about it's not a great fit. Mask off, identity on, confidence align. So there is so much power in knowing that you have alignment in your confidence. And there's several reasons why this is, but I'm just going to go over a few of them. But I'm also going to kind of talk about my personal story before we dive off into those reasons because this is very important with you as a woman in leadership, with you as a woman business owner. You have to notice these things. So, my whole goal with this series, A Confidence Check, is for you to be able to have a little bit more self awareness and for you to be able to have a little bit more confidence in the tactics or the tools that you have in your toolkit to be able to show up and lead efficiently in your career or in your business or just in life in general, right? This is a series that I planned out to lead up to my workshop that I'm hosting in June, on June 15th, called Confidence to Coins. Because I don't know if you all realize it yet, your confidence heavily affects the amount of money that you make, whether you are in a 9 to 5 or you are a woman business owner. It determines how much money you're going to make each and every day that you wake up, right? And with us facing so much in the world as women, for us having so many press demands, for us having so many roles and things that we have to have and wear, how many hats we have to wear each and every day, it is really, really important that we know how to exercise this in our lives and we know how to equip ourselves better to be able to perform and show up each day. So during my workshop, I dive into tactics and strategies, mindset work that is going to take for you to be able to efficiently call in your clarity, your confidence, so you can attract your coins. So I'll talk about a little bit more about that later on when we get further on in the live. But let's just talk about a little bit of my life experience. So, like I said, today's topic is it's not a great fit. Mask off, identity on, your confidence being aligned. This is very important. If you're watching, let me know that you're here. And then number two, make sure you share this with somebody, tag somebody, and let them know about the conversation we're having. Okay. So the reason that I picked this topic was because I have more than once experienced in my life to where I felt like there was a time that I had to kind of like wear a mask, if you will. And it was because sometimes maybe I wanted to be included, maybe I wanted to fit in, maybe I was trying to figure out like why this person received so much acknowledgement and stuff like that. And I didn't. And it wasn't that I was jealous of this person. And this is so good because I have a sermon reference. I was listening to Dr. Darius Daniels yesterday, and he was just like, sometimes in this human experience, that you got the juice. You know that you got the juice. You know that you bring a lot to the table. You know that you go hard for what it is that you do. You know that you are equipped with the talents, the skills, the natural ability, the spiritual ability, the whole nine. And you literally are seeing things happening for other people, and you kind of you ain't questioning God, but you kind of like, God, what's up? Like, why it's not happening for me? Like, what's going on? I'm not jealous of it happening for that person. I'm not happy that that person is getting theirs, because if they getting theirs and they close to me, obviously it's in my neighborhood. It's gonna come to me too. And that's the way that I like to think about it. But we sometimes can't help but think like, I have all of this going on. I have so many things to offer. I have so much value to offer. I have so much value to deliver and to give. I serve so much. I show up and I serve my community. I show up and I serve my audience. I show up and I serve my clients. I show up and I serve the people that may be potential clients. I show up and serve potential customers. If you're in your 9 to 5, sometimes you got to do a little schmoozing to win that new customer account over. You never know. It's the same in business when you get ready to work for yourself, right? In the business world, we call it nurturing, right? In the entrepreneur setting, we call it nurturing. And given the way that consumer behavior is right now, there is a lot more nurturing that has to go into the engagement of things before you actually close the sale. It just is what it is now. I was just having a discussion with somebody the other day, or it may have been yesterday, about how I remember when I first kind of came out onto the coaching scene, and maybe not when I first came out, probably like 2 or 3 years in, it was easier for me to book sales calls and get people in the DM to have a conversation with me before probably post COVID. Now it takes a lot more nurturing. I have to be a lot more open, which I've never been opposed to, because I'm all for like genuine engagement and human interaction. That's always been my motto anyway. But just to understand now, which I appreciate my skill set as a life coach, I appreciate my skill set, as somebody that has that focuses on people and process solutions, understanding how you need to care and nurture people, whether they're your customers, your clients, whoever they are. You kind of need to care and nurture for people. You need to be able to emphasize. You may not always have to sympathize with somebody, because sometimes they can carry a lot of weight for you, but you can empathize with somebody. And so just creating that to be a part of my humanistic experience as people come into my funnel, if you will. So we like to think of a funnel as a technological thing. It's not just a technological thing. While a funnel can be that, and I'm not here to talk a whole bunch of tactics with that today. I may get on here and do a live where I teach y'all how to build that type of stuff, but a funnel is not just that. A funnel can literally be a human interaction that you have with somebody. The relation, the connection that you build with your relationship that you have with somebody that you meet in person. So in the past, when I was building my jewelry business, I used to do a lot of networking events. I used to be at a lot of vendor shows. I used to do, I still have my paparazzi business. I don't know why I keep saying I used to, because I still have it. I just shipped out some jewelry the other day. But I used to be on the road a lot post-COVID. I would be in and out of town going to vendor events, and there were several other paparazzi consultants that was just like, how are you doing what you're doing? How are you making so much money that you're making with, quote unquote, it was $5 jewelry, right? And so I had several people told me that there was nobody in that $5 jewelry, but I definitely proved them wrong in that regard. Because I had figured out my own strategy. I had carved my own lane, and I had started working that process, and I had blinders on. I wasn't worried about nothing else that was going on around me. But I was able to grow my business and build my team to 30 plus people very rapidly because of my genuine human interaction and experience when people came to my table. When people came to my table, they knew that they weren't just going to be walking up to look at some jewelry pieces. The way that I had my setup was enough to speak for itself, because by the time they got to the site, they didn't even realize that they were shopping paparazzi jewelry. They thought it was my own personal jewelry brand. I had became the brand. And when you work a multi-level marketing company, you have to learn how to separate yourself from several others that are doing the same thing that you're doing, or else you're going to look like them, right? You're going to look like them. And if that's the case, they can get it from anybody. They don't have to come get it from you. But a lot of people got to the point to where they didn't realize that it was paparazzi jewelry that I sold. They recognized TNT jewels, not paparazzi, right? So when they came to my table, they knew they was going to get an experience. And even though it was a vendor setup, it was just like I had my own boutique. I'm engaging with you when you're shopping. I'm noticing the pieces that you have on. Hey, Nikki, I'm noticing the pieces that you have or don't have on when you walk up to the table. I'm engaging in conversation with you. I'm asking you what it is that you're like. I'm paying attention to your design of style that you have on as far as your clothes and how you present yourself, your body language and your demeanor. All of that helps you make an engaging, humanistic, relational experience to be able to lead somebody to either a potential collaboration, a mutually beneficial relationship, or eventually a sale. It all plays a role into that. And what has happened is the world was shut off for so long that a lot of people don't know how to go back and be humans because we went to do everything digital. And it's not to say that digital stuff is wrong or is bad. There's definitely several benefits of it because let's just be clear, we're not going to not be a digital world. It is what it is. Like it's advancing rapidly each and every day. So you might as well become accustomed to learning how to leverage both in-person and online experiences because it's just a part of our world now. You no longer have a choice. You have to embrace it or you're going to get left. Your business is not going to be able probably to be as successful, but you're going to get left, right? So I say all that to say, that was me finding my confidence alignment in a strategy that worked for me in my business, in the human experience that I wanted to have, in the type of team and the type of leadership that I wanted to display for my team. Because let me be clear, in paparazzi, I told my upline I didn't even want to be a team. But because people gravitated to me because of the experience and the way that I nurtured them and the way that I didn't pressure them necessarily to join my team. It was just that they saw me out working my business, giving great service to people that they got excited about it because I was excited about it too, right? And I'm saying that because I'm also finna do that same thing in my coaching business. That same strategy can work too. I'm glad the world is opening more back up now to where like we can have more humanistic engagements. Because I can tell you one thing, it's easier for me honestly to close a sale in person. Online is great, it's good, cool. Too many people hide behind keyboards for me, but that's just my personal opinion. I'm an offline girl all day. That has always been my prior strategy. It has always worked well for me. It has always excelled my business times 10. Always. So I'm at the point now where I'm just like, I'm creating those experiences that I want to see with my own events, collaborations with people, and just getting back and doing the vendors, going back to be a vendor. Because my human interaction and my human connection that I have is always going to speak more volumes for me than a text-based post or a 30-second reel any day. And that's just my personal opinion. I'm a very long form content person. I realize people don't like to read. My people like to read. If you're a part of my audience and you have been my client, you like to read because you realize that that's efficient or proficient in you being a thought leader. You can't escape wanting to read. You can't escape not wanting to develop yourself. It's not an option, right? So let's dive into it. So I gave you that little bit of background because what would have happened in that situation would have been I would have looked like various other paparazzi consultants, probably still till now, crab in a barrel, fighting in Facebook groups, trying to get this vendor event. I created my own strategy. It's the same with my business coaching business. I don't have to look like every other one. Every strategy that every business coach out here does may not necessarily be a great fit for me, right? But when you show up as somebody with a mask on, ready to serve an audience that aligns with the mask that you have on and not what's truly up under the mask, you find yourself doing things or overworking yourself or overextending yourself or overusing strategies that weren't necessarily aligned for you, first of all, your identity, your impact, or your income. I'm going to say that again. When you are focused on so many things that are aligned with whatever mask that you show up and wear on a daily basis, right? When you are focused on strategies that you have decided align with that identity that you get up and put on every day, it's not the identity that's up under the mask. When you align with strategies, you are starting to say that because of that identity of that mask that you put on every day, you're going and you're working and you're trying to apply these strategies to your business model or to your vision or to whatever it is that you're working on, and they're not a great fit. They're not a great fit. This also comes in terms of when you have a mask on and you have built an offer or a service or a product or whatever that is for said audience, right? But if you don't show up as the person that aligns with that said audience, again, having a mask on, that audience is not going to realize that that offer is for them, or either the audience is not the right one for that offer, if that makes sense. So that it can work both ways. You could be talking to your audience, showing up in this identity that's not truly yourself, and you could be saying, I know I got a bomb offer. It's not my copywriting. It's not the structure of my offer. It's not the pricing of my offer. But for some reason, it's not resonating with my audience. Well, the audience, whoever the audience is that you have, has been built around a persona or identity or whatever that you have presented on this online platform or wherever you go to do your work, right? The audience that you have built has been built around that, right? It has been built around that. So if it's been built around that and the offer that you have in your back pocket does not align with that particular audience, it's going to be hard for you to make sales. I've been there, girl, too, right? Because I've been influenced by several people that I followed over the years to say, well, let me try that. And they may not have been necessarily what I need to try. Again, I'm probably going to be the first and only business coach to tell y'all all the strategies work, but you got to find one that works for you. It don't mean that you need to apply all of them. You need to find one that works for you and that goes with the divine flow of whatever it is that you're doing in your business that aligns with your audience and your offer and your end goal and your pricing structure and your business model. A lot of variables, right? You have to be able to realize and recognize what those are that align with you. But all the strategies work. So if you want to spend and exhaust yourself trying to do all of them, go right ahead. Go right ahead. But at some point, you have to be able to face yourself and say, like, is this truly aligned with the outcome of what it is that I want to do? Because like I say on this platform, every day I've got on here this week. When you come to Cultivate to receive services, whether it's B2B services or B2C services, you are going to either be elevated in some way in 1 to 3 areas, if not all 3, right? So we're either going to help you elevate your identity, number 1. We're either going to help you expand your impact, number 2, or we're either going to help you evolve your income. Those are the 3 things that if you come here, either one or all 3 of those things are going to happen. Why? Because they all directly affect each other. I constantly talk about my equation: clarity plus confidence equals coins. When you don't have clarity around what it is that you do, you don't have the confidence to go out and command what you need, so you don't make no money. It's the same in your 9 to 5. When you don't have clarity around the work that you're doing or around the role that you're doing, or if the role is no longer a great fit at your 9 to 5, you have outgrown the role. You know you need a promotion or you need to move on to somebody else to be able to get a higher role. It's no longer a great fit. You got to take that mask off. You have elevated, right? The mask no longer fits the environment that you're in or desiring to go to or that you're transitioning into, right? Because it's a transition. So that's just a little bit of my personal experience and my backstory as to why I decided to name today's topic that. And I think I've been sharing like a little bit of my backstory, my personal experience each and every day that I've been on here, so you all can understand like what these topics mean to me and why I chose what I chose. So again, hopefully this stuff is resonating with you all. Let me know that, you feel like this is a good, we're going to learn some good stuff. Like, what y'all feel about the intro? Y'all good? Let me know that you're here. And then, like I said, also share this with somebody, right? Because I want to get more people involved in the conversation, more women involved in the conversation, right? Okay. So let's talk about these few points that we're going to go over. So again, for those of you that just popped on, this is our topic that we're talking about. It's not a great fit. Mask off, identity on, confidence aligned. So my whole series is called A Confidence Check. It's a 4-part series I've been doing all week Tomorrow's the last day, but today we're talking about aligned confidence and the power of having aligned confidence. Okay. So, okay, Monique, thank you. So, number one, so here's one of the reasons why having powerfully aligned confidence is so important for you and your business, or you and your career, or just you as a woman in general, right? Each and every day that you take your walk of life, right? So aligning with your true self, so the right opportunities are able to find you. This is real. This is very real. Um, because you are going to have several opportunities that come to your door on a regular. Several. Okay? You're going to have several. Now, is every opportunity going to be a great fit for you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if you don't know who you are, and if you are not secure in who you are, you're going to feel like you have to say yes to each and every opportunity that shows up to your door, right? And that's not necessarily true. That is a very quick road to burnout. Very, very quick road to burnout. This is not excluding the trial and errors that you might do when you pick up new information or you learn a new skill. This is not, don't include that. But when you stumble upon an opportunity, or somebody rolls up in your inbox with an opportunity, and it's literally like you've had several people roll up to you with an opportunity, and they're just like, you can't miss the opportunity. All of the opportunities are not aligned for you. But if your confidence is not where it needs to be at a certain level, you are going to want to take advantage of each and every one of those opportunities, thinking that it's always going to be a great fit, and it's not. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. If your confidence is in a particular place to where it's not high enough for you to be able to respect your boundaries, respect your morals, understand your identity, create a sense of self-awareness, you are going to take whatever anybody throws at you. And that's not always a good thing, right? It's not always a good thing. You need to realize in that moment the things that you have been praying for, the things that have been put on your heart that maybe you haven't been able to put in words. You need to be able to recognize those things. So when opportunities come to you, you are not just grabbing at everything. Everything doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound sweet to your ears, because everything isn't always sweet. Now, will you pass up on some great opportunities? There may be a time when you have to pass up on some really great opportunities for sake of boundaries and rest. You won't be able to take upon all of the great opportunities, but you can take upon all of the aligned ones. You can take upon those. There's so much out here for you, and there's several different vehicles that you can choose to help you get there, right? Several different vehicles you could choose to help you get there. There's always more than one way to skin a cat. Again, I go back to my industry as a business coach. I'm not the only business coach out here. The strategies that I have as a business coach are not the only strategies that are available on the market, right? So what I have is based genuinely off a life that I have lived, off experience that I have gained in the real world, off experience that I have gained in working with my clients, and frameworks and tracking data and things that we have tried, frameworks that we have tried, strategies that we have tried that have helped create not only results for them, but also results for me. And again, there may have been some things that I have tried for my clients that I have not necessarily tried for myself, but it worked for them. But that doesn't mean because I haven't tried it on myself that it's not a valid strategy. If it worked for them, it is a very much so valid strategy, regardless of whether or not I went through it or not. They had a real life experience with it, right? So there may have been some things, which is, like I said, you can't be scared to get out here and do trial and error and actually earn while you learn, if you will. Because when you're actually in the process of working with the client, no client is a one size fits all. And if you have a business coach or a coach of any kind that applies any type of framework or any type of strategy to you that is a one size fits all type of thing, you need to run. You need to run. No clients are the same. I don't care if they're in the same industry. I don't care if they do the same things. I haven't had no two clients that were the same. None. I've had to customize all of their strategies, which I love doing because that shows, again, there's more than one way to skin a cat. When you are in the world of business, whether career focus or your own business, you have to know the power of problem solving. You have to know and understand the power of problem solving. You have to know different ways. This is how you end up knowing who really knows what they know and who don't know what they know. Real life application matters. You learn through real life application. So as I get more and more clients, as I work with more and more clients, there may be something that I learned with this client that I didn't know before. But because we did that test or we tried the strategy out and it yielded the result that it yielded, I can add it to my toolkit now for the next clients that come along. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. Right? You only get that type of data when you are doing real world experience. So you need to be able to understand the opportunities that are coming to you. Every client may not necessarily, every potential client may not necessarily be a great fit for you. You don't have to serve everybody. You should get to a point until you'll be in your business to where you can choose the people that you want to serve. When you first start out, okay, I'm trying to get experience. Real world experience matters. I talked about yesterday. I don't want nobody that's been in medical school 10, 12 years and they ain't never been on around in the hospital and never seen they finna get ready to, they going to school to be a cardiologist. And the first time they getting ready to do open heart surgery is when they get to me. No, nope, nope. I need you to have tested that before you got to me. And you've been in school 10, 12 years in medical school. Nope. Those real world experiences matter. Because each and every day they walk in that hospital, they're going to get something different. Every client, every customer, every patient is different. Nurses, same way. Cosmetologists, same way. Every client that has hair issues or different grades, it's different. So if you are not taking upon the opportunities to gain the real world experience, I'm not talking about no exposure, because let's be clear. If you don't realize whether or not their audience aligns with what it is that you do, and you get to the point where you just be so excited about the exposure, you might get on their platform talking to people about what it is that you do, and that audience don't even care. They ain't even the right audience. But you were just so excited for exposure. I don't get excited about exposure. I get excited about aligned opportunities. I'm no longer in the beginning of my business to where I have to be excited about exposure. That's not an excitement for me anymore. And that's not a discount. So don't be in your feelings on my live because I might hurt them. Not intentionally, but just don't be in your feelings because that's not how I'm saying it. You get to a point in your business to where you can't take advantage of everything that everybody throws at you. And then if you root yourself in that identity, let me just say that if you root yourself in that identity, you get to a place to where it almost seems like you're being desperate for dollars in your career or your business. So let's talk about it. At your 9 to 5, willing to go above and beyond for everything and everybody that requests something of you, whether it falls within your role of responsibility or it doesn't. They're not finna promote you because you did that. They're not. Right? If you are a business owner, you're desperate. You end up being desperate for dollars because it ends up being a very drying cycle that you don't even realize consciously that you are repeating day in and day out. That's not a strategy, right? That's not a strategy. You don't want to become dependent on something like that. You also don't want to be dependent on somebody to feed you. Let's be clear. You don't want to be dependent on somebody to feed you. So you should be having um you should be having a budget for personal development. You should be developing your skills. You can always tell people in their industry that have developed their skills, that invest in themselves. They're not limited. I talked about that yesterday. There's no way you're gonna be in the beauty industry and you settle for cosmetology school or whatever part of beauty school you decide to go to. There's no way that you're gonna do that. And you just never gonna learn any other skills. You're never gonna advance your skills, but you want to charge top dollar. You want to charge top dollar. You want to get this lackluster customer experience. You want to charge all these fees and stuff like that. But your skill set ain't even subpar. We don't want that. We don't want it. Right? So again, when you're investing in yourself, you'll also realize and recognize what opportunities are for you, because you'll understand that the value you bring to the table doesn't always align with what the opportunity is that's being presented to you. That's a good one. I hope somebody caught that. But okay, so that's the first thing. Number 2, aligning with your true self helps you to realize things that are no longer a great fit for you, that you may have settled for when you didn't know who you were. I'm going to say that again. Aligning with your true self helps you to realize things that are no longer a great fit for you, that you may have settled for when you didn't know who you were. There's power in self-discovery. There is also power in self-awareness. But if you never choose to go on any of these journeys and you just let people, again, in this world, carve your identity for you, tell you who you're supposed to be, who you're supposed to show up as, how you're supposed to do it, what it's supposed to look like, and you never affirm that phone call that you got from God that wasn't a conference call about what it is that you should be doing and how you should be doing it and who possibly you should be doing it with, you will start to engage in things, or you will stay longer in things that are no longer a great fit for you. Because it may have been suitable for one identity of you, but it may not be suitable for you to continue to carry that throughout your life long term. Right? So if you're a human being that is never evolving, you are always going to be settling for whatever it is for that identity that you're currently at, aka staying stuck, right? If you are around stuck people that it just seems like they're never moving forward, this is what they're struggling with. These are the things that they're struggling with. They got comfortable with settling for some things that were great at the time of the one version of them that they were, but they never evolved from that. They never transitioned from that. They never aimed higher from that. I always like to say where you start may not be where you finish, and that's completely okay. That means that you are evolving. That means that you are growing. That means that you are receiving new information and making new informed decisions upon that new received information. That's what that means. That's a good thing. It's a great thing. But if you just settle for that, knowing that there's another or a higher identity out there for you that you know you're working towards, because again, everything is a transition. You can transition fast or you can transition slow. It's solely up to you, right? If you settle for those things and you stay in those things and you know you have outgrown those things, it gets to the point to where you have to realize that it's no longer a great fit. You can't take it to where you're going to. And just from my own personal experience, because I'm kind of going through this right now a little bit, just a little bit. I realize that there is a higher, more elevated version of service that God wants me to do. And it's B2B work. It's a lot of B2B work, right? It's almost to the point to where he wants me to leave the B2C work. And it's been very hard for me because I like doing business to consumer stuff. I really do. But the transition that I've been having to embrace, I prayed for this, but I didn't realize that I may have to leave something behind to be able to embrace the transition. And it's not to say that once I secure whatever I need to secure at this level, that I can't reach back. But for the transformation that God is taking me to, it's calling me to serve at a higher, more evolved level. Why? Because cognitively, these are the type of real world problems I like to solve. They're up here. And that's not a discount, right? But it's taken a while for me. Like my body was already there, but my mind had to catch up. I've been asking for this for months, if not maybe a couple of years now. And it's been a transition. It's been a transition. It's been a transition, and it's been a bit of shedding that has been happening over these, past couple of years and months, right? So I know where I started is never where I wanted to stay. However, going through this transitionary period saying that I want to do more B2B business, I like that space. I love the experience that I have in that space. I love being able to go and do a one-to-many pitch versus a one-to-one on these platforms all day. I just, that's what I like. I love to be able to walk into a room again. Why I said I'm going back to networking and vending. I love to be able to walk into a room knowing that there may be 50, 100, 200 people in a room. And if I work the room right, if I give a great experience at my vendor table and I look like I'm excited about what I do and I'm engaging and I'm showing my thought leadership and I'm showing my expertise and I'm displaying myself in my real demeanor and my real character, I'm going to walk out with a few contracts. I'm going to walk out with a few deals. I'm going to walk out with some items sold from my table, some digital products or something sold from my table. Hey, Miss Sarah Grace. I'm going to walk out with some collaborations. I'm going to walk out with some partnerships. It's one to many for me. If I don't walk out there with something, that means I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I didn't show up as myself. I didn't show up as the person that was welcomed into their room. My thought leadership didn't work for me in those experiences. Your thought leadership should always be displayed for you in those experiences, even online. People don't like to read. They don't like to write. I don't understand how y'all make it through life not wanting to read and not wanting to write, but you want to speak. If you can't read or write, you can't speak. Like, they all work together. It's an elevated skill set. And you have to learn how to do all of them, because no matter who you are, which again, giving credit to the sermon I just listened to from Dr. Darius Daniels last night, he said there's 3 skills that you're going to have to master in life, no matter who you are, what you do. Coaching. Let me get my paper. Coaching, speaking, and selling. And he's right. Coaching, speaking, and selling. You're always going to have to do those, whether that's actually your title or not. I talked about titles this week too. Your title and your role can change. Your character should not. Your character should remain the same. But we get too attached to titles. Guilty myself. Right? But those 3 skills all work together. You're going to have to do those things, especially if you're somebody in leadership. You're wanting to guide a herd of sheep, or lions, whatever you choose, whatever animal representation you choose. You want to lead the pack. You're going to have to learn how to do some coaching. You're going to have to learn how to speak, and you're going to have to learn how to sell. Coaching, why? Because there's going to come a time that somebody in your pack is going to need to lean in on you as the leader. And while you may not call yourself a coach, you will need the skill set. You ain't got to call yourself a coach, but the skill set is very valuable. Period. Speaking. You're delivering your tone to your team, your family, your children, the people you work with. It matters. When you're in the conference room and you're trying to pitch a deal, when you're a small business owner and you have that proposal, that RFP, and you got to go pitch, when you want to pitch to investors for them to invest in your business, you have to learn how to speak, articulate, show yourself approved. They don't want to invest in nothing. They don't want to invest in nobody that ain't showing themselves approved. They ain't gonna make no money. Why are we investing in you? It's the same with you doing your B2C work as a business owner. You don't show yourself approved, there's nothing we're buying. If all of your captions and all of your talking and all of your scripts, or whatever you want to call it, look like they came out of ChatGPT, we don't want to buy it. We can tell it's not you. I see this stuff every day, and I'm like, that person didn't write that. And some of y'all have copywriters, and I can tell even with your copywriter is not grasping your brand voice. I don't know if it's their fault or your fault, but the copywriter can only grasp a brand voice of the identity that you present to them, right? So it's still some work on your part. It may not necessarily be their fault. It may be who you're showing up as. Again, this matters. So when you're speaking to people, when you have to speak to your team or whoever it is that you're leading, your audience, your tribe, your community. Community is huge now. You can't go into your community talking all kinds of crazy and talking the language that you have informed around that community. They're not going to know what you're talking about. If you want to serve at a higher capacity, you want to go in this boardroom of executives, you can't go into the boardroom of executives talking slang. And I know y'all like to honor that. That's great. It works where it works. But that's not what you can do. You need to learn how to turn it on and off. Even if you got to act for it for 30 minutes or an hour. Just to get your direct point across so you can add more value to your identity, add more value to your income and your impact. Right? Selling. I can't emphasize enough, whether you a nonprofit or a for-profit, you got to sell. If you work at a 9-to-5 or you're a business owner, you got to sell. Who are you selling? You're selling yourself. The nonprofit, you're selling yourself. You're selling your vision, your mission, the impact you want to have in the community, and the results. For your for-profit, you're selling your vision, your mission, the impact you want to have in your community, and the results, and your product, your service. Why wouldn't you want to build up the clarity, the confidence that you need to embody this identity and become who you need to be able to become to get your coins? Why wouldn't you? Why would you settle for wearing a mask that you know that is not a great fit? Why would you settle for serving a community or audience that you know is not a great fit? Why would you settle for struggling down at the bottom when you were supposed to be at the top? Why would you struggle? Why would you settle for being in the background when you know you need to be in the forefront? Talking to myself. Right? This is why these things are important. You have to be able to realize when stuff is no longer a great fit and you end up overstaying your welcome somewhere too long, you're going to miss your blessing in the next space that you're supposed to be. It can't find you, so it can't land. Because you ain't there. You weren't there at 11:25 When it was dropped off, you missed the mark. Oh well. We'll try again another time, hopefully. Right? You have to know when you have staged your welcome or either overstayed your welcome. Sometimes you gotta let some stuff go. There may be some your offers, there may be some products, there may be your audience, there may be a business model, there may be a business name, there may be a customer experience. Sometimes you outgrow it, you gotta let it go. And you gotta come back strong, you gotta rebrand and redefine who you are. Re-identify, because you evolve as a human. If you're not doing these things on a regular, you might want to ask yourself some questions. People like to say that when it looks like people are always changing what they do, it looks like they don't know what they're doing. I think opposite. In some cases, yes. But you can tell people who have truly been on a journey, hey, Essential Touch, who have truly been on a journey and they steadily working to that higher self, that higher service. And you can tell people who disappear and they pop up, and they disappear and they pop up, and they disappear and they pop up. You can tell the difference. Evolution is a journey. It is not an overnight thing. And if you're not doing it, you need to ask yourself some questions. Right? Number 3, misaligned confidence may be causing you to attract the audience that, number 1, doesn't resonate with your offer. Number 2, you said speak. Number 2, you created by settling for services, a brand, or an offer that you don't desire to work with. It's where you start, but it may not be where you finish. I just said that, right? One of those two things. So I'm going to say it again. Misaligned confidence may be causing you to attract an audience that doesn't resonate with your offers, or that you created by settling for services, a brand, or an offer that you don't desire to work with. It's where you start, but it may not be where you finish. So in my own personal story, when I started my coaching business, the name of my coaching business was DreamWorks Life Coaching and Consulting. It's still on Google. You can still look it up. But I realized that the brand identity of their business was no longer aligned with the version of the woman that I was becoming. The version of the woman that I was becoming way more elegant, way more mysterious, way more private. She was entering into a different type of era. And I didn't know exactly what they looked like, but I knew with the brand that I had, it wasn't going to give that off. So I invested in a rebrand. And I'm actually getting ready to do a little refreshing. Not a whole rebrand, but I'm getting ready to do some refreshing, right? But I invested in a rebrand because I knew the audience that was attracted to my first, where I started at, wasn't going to be the same audience that I was evolving to. The offers that I had in DreamWorks are not offers that I brought over here. When I rebranded to Cultivate, I created a whole new offer suite. My brand colors are completely different. They're more aligned with who I am and who my character is, right? I'm actually going to add a couple colors to the palette. When I look at my logo, I'm like, I like that. I like the way that it looks. When I look at my offer suite, I say, some stuff currently I'm getting rid of. But for the majority of what I have, I like it. I like it. When I look at the clients that I have served, when I look at past case studies, when I look at past data, when I look at current data, I say, I like it. DreamWorks wouldn't have been able to do this. And I had to be okay with letting that go and be okay with acknowledging who I was and where I was going, to be able to say, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with working towards this new audience. I'm okay with recreating all of this over again to be able to serve at a higher capacity. I'm okay with it. I don't want to settle for the services that I currently have. God, again, is calling me higher. I'm okay with letting go of what I have right now so I can serve at a higher capacity. I'm okay with it. Everybody's not okay with it. It's a pulling tug. Well, what would happen? What would somebody say? I went through all of that mentally. I really did. What would somebody say if I show up? All of the unnecessary chatter in my brain. All this for me. Okay, Monique. You know where to find me. But I'm glad that it's helping you. My hope is that it's helping to bring awareness so you understand. These are things that hold you back. They literally hold you back from having the dream life, making the money that you want to make. Again, if you don't want to be the multi-million-dollar business, that's fine. That's fine. Find your success and align with it. Shoot for that. But shooting for nothing is inexcusable. You can't just wake up every morning and shoot from the hip. You can't do that. You gotta be aiming for something. If that's, I just need an extra $2,000 a month, cool. Let's get going. If it's an extra $10,000 a month, cool. Let's get going. Now, Tanika, I want to learn how to go for the gusto. Okay, cool. We can do it. It's gonna take some time, but we can do it. Because your mental got to catch up with your physical. But it's gonna take. We can do it. If you with it, I'm with it. Let's go. But it doesn't mean because you don't aim that high that your success is any less than anybody else's. Let me tell you what real success is. Then I'll jump back on my last, I got 2 more points. It's peace. It's the ability to have options. It's the ability to be able to say, Lord, if I make more money, I know they say more money, more problems, which is real. Let's be clear. But instead of me looking at it as more money, more problems, I'm looking at it as, Lord, I know there was one point where I had more problems than I had money, and now I got money, I can take care of the problems. That's one less worry that I have to worry about. Because now I got money to take care of the money problems. I ain't got to worry about that no more. And that's probably 95% of human beings' worry is not having the money to take care of whatever they need to take care of. It's having the power of having options and peace. That's success to me. And money brings that. It's a tool. That's all it is. It's paper and it's a tool. Use it. You gonna make more. It's gonna come back. You holding on tightly to it ain't helping it do anything but storing up some negative energy that you need to let go anyway. It's a tool. But that's another lie for another day. Okay, let's go to number 3. The third point. You have to learn not to attach yourself to your current state. And understanding your transition is the bridge to your higher calling. So don't attach to a season that is temporary and that brews the mindset that is forever. Align your confidence with the journey and not each destination along the journey. So you should be aligning your confidence with your journey. Because again, if you are a human being living this human experience and you're never evolving, I have questions about what it is that you're doing. That means you're just getting up, existing. And I don't want to go through life just existing. I did enough of that. I don't want to go through life being in survival mode. We coming out of that. That's been my whole life. But we coming out of that, right? I don't want to go through that. It's not a good place to be. However, we do understand that there are some transitional points in your life. Things happen. You can't get attached to what you have to do in that season of what you have to do When you know you are going through a period of transition and evolution, you have to be able to know that this is just a part. It's one stop in the journey. It's not my identity. It does not define me. It's just one stop in the journey. I know what my goal is. This is why it's important to keep your vision in front of you. If you don't know what that is, if it's blurry, again, I'm going to keep telling y'all the formula. Clarity plus confidence equals coins. When your vision is blurred, you don't know what you're aiming for. You got to clear that up. You got to clear it up. What is this? Number 4? I think this is the last one. Being positive 24/7 is unrealistic. Successful people, I took this from Dr. Dare's sermon yesterday, this quote. Successful people are people who have mastered the skill to recover quickly when they get off course. When you learn better, do better. Course correct. You don't have to wait on nobody to come tell you to course correct. If you learn better information, course correct. There has to be a self-induced activity. Successful people are people who have mastered the skill to recover quickly when they get off course. So this mask on, mask off, that's you getting off course. But when you realize that the mask is no longer a great fit, is no longer benefiting you, is no longer doing what it needs to do, you're no longer able to hide behind whatever identity issues you may be having. And best believe, again, those identity issues are causing detriment to your impact and your income equally. It's an equation. You can't have A without B. It's an equation. Successful people realize that they will get off track because, wow, we're humans. We're not going to be on point 24/7. Your favorite influencer, your favorite famous individual or person, whoever you glean to or listen to or follow, whoever you admire, they have not been on point 24/7 in their lives. They have not. They still won't, even after today. But what successful people do know or do invest in is their self-discovery and their self-awareness, so they know that when these things happen, oh no, we got to stop. We got to course correct. They problem solve quickly. They don't sit and settle. They problem solve quickly. You have to learn how to problem solve quickly. I posted about alchemy the other day. If you ever read 50 Cent's book, The 50th Law, he talks about how you should be able to understand the power of turning shit into sugar, for lack of a better words. That's what he said in the book. The power of alchemy is real. You have to learn how to use what you have at the time at which you have it to get to where it is that you're trying to go. It may not yield the long-term outcome, but it's a step in the right direction. But if you just settle for the fact that you don't have exactly what it is that you need to yield the long-term outcome, you are probably hindering yourself from having a closer connection to being in the right direction than you know. Successful people know how to problem solve very quickly using access to information that they have at the time in which they have it. When they learn better, they do better. But they solve them problems real quick. CEOs solve problems real fast. You don't have time to sit in it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't feel it. Sometimes you have to be able to mourn and work at the same time. I have my days. I would be lying if I said that I didn't. I definitely had my days. I went through a very terrible business breakup at the beginning of this year with a business partner. I still have my days where I'm just like, God, I don't understand, but I trust you. And ever since I made the decision to separate, things have been up. They have been up. But did it hurt? Absolutely. Tore me up. Still tear me up. But these are the things that you have to realize and recognize that are no longer a great fit for you. You have to be able to trust. You have to be aware in yourself and your identity and where you're going and what it is that you're working with and what you're trying to do, this impact you're trying to leave in the world. You have to be aware with what truly aligns with that. And that change can also change as we evolve. It can change, right? Because again, when you acquire new and better information, yep, morning work. When you acquire new and better information, you should be able to have grace to apply the new information you just learned. It's okay. But sometimes you got a morning work. Sometimes you don't have time to sit. Because first of all, sitting ain't solving nothing. Let's just be clear. Get you a therapist, get you a coach. If you got one or two people that's riding true, get them one or two people and ride the thing out. Ride the thing out. But hopefully, you all found some value in this live today. Okay. Let me talk about the Confidence to Coins workshop. So I'm hosting a workshop, a Confidence Coins workshop, June 15th here in Memphis, Tennessee. It is designed for women. Where again, if you fall in one of these three spaces, I held up 5, but I meant 3. If you fall in one of these 3 spaces, where you are having your identity issues, you are having impact issues, or you are having income issues, Cultivate's job when you come over here as a client, we're either probably always going to elevate your identity, because how you came is never going to be how you leave, right? Expand your impact. If you are in an expansion season in your business, you're trying to figure out how to expand. That's your systems, your automation, your team. Yes, this is only going to be in person, Monique. I won't have any virtual tickets for this one. It's a very intimate in-person experience because it's a workshop. I'm doing hands-on work with you all. So the gap that I discovered, because I did a survey with solopreneurs, the gap that I discovered is a lot of these conferences and stuff claim that they're workshops and conferences and networking. You all leave with so much information, but you never get to work on the information while you're there. You never actually get to work on the information or the strategies while you're there with the people who have given you the strategy, right? So the change that I'm bringing to Confidence to Coins, the Confidence to Coins workshop, is in the morning, we're going to talk strategy. I'm going to teach you frameworks. I'm going to teach you strategies that you can apply, whether you're at the elevate stage, you're at the expansion stage, or you're at the evolutionary stage. So that is my framework. Elevate, expand, evolve. You in one of them 3 places. In the morning, we're going to do strategies and frameworks. But in the afternoon, we're working. It's hands-on work. You're going to get to work with me. Hands-on work. I'm feeding you breakfast and lunch. If you buy a VIP ticket, the VIP experience after the event, you get a $25 food credit towards your dinner. It's a private, intimate dinner. It's only so many tickets for that. You'll get a little bit more intimacy time with me and one-to-one time with me at the dinner. But I'm giving you a $25 food credit for that if you buy a VIP ticket. But you will not leave this workshop trying to figure out how to gather and put together all of this information. You'll be able to leave the workshop, should be leaving with a plan of execution, at least if not for the next 90 days when you leave there, at least for the next 30. You should know what you're doing for whatever your strategy is going to be. I will not allow you to leave the room without knowing it. That's how serious I am about this event, because I refuse to host an event or a workshop that I'm calling a workshop and y'all don't leave out of there with nothing, knowing nothing. Y'all just had breakfast and mimosas and called it a day. That ain't what we doing. Not at this particular event, anyway. The way that I'm empowering you as a woman is for me to equip you with what you need to be able to survive, thrive, and be successful, whatever season you're in. There's the purpose of this workshop. Confidence to Coins is not just a saying, it's a real thing. That is my real life story. Because as I built my confidence up in different areas, I went on my health journey, my confidence shot up. A lot of people didn't realize that I was not as confident when I went on my health journey. They didn't know. But when I went on my health journey, what did it help me do? I shedded 60 pounds physically, but I didn't realize how much my eyes were going to be open because I had shedded weight. I changed my diet, so my nutrients were able to be absorbed in my body better, which means I could think clearer. I sleep better. When I open my eyes in the morning and I get ready to sit before my clients and my workload that I have, I see it with a different set of eyes. When I get ready to get on my sales calls or my calls with my clients, I can be more present and acclimate to their needs and be able to deliver great solutions, not good ones, great solutions, because of mental clarity, confidence on another level. So we always think, y'all stay on social media a lot, looking for the next strategy or the next tactic. You're overloaded with strategies and tactics. Hey, Natalie, you're overloaded with strategies and tactics. You have too many. And again, I'm probably going to be the only business coach on this here internet that's going to tell you all of the strategies work. However, every vehicle is not a great vehicle for you in your business model and where you are going. I'm very, 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 like, my soul screams this. Because again, this is soul work for me. This is why I don't take anybody with my coaching. I'm not here to gather the masses. I'm here to serve who I'm supposed to serve, because I serve at a high capacity. It's a lot of energy come up out of me when I serve y'all. A lot. I always over deliver. So in order to do that, I have to keep myself healthy. I have to keep myself grounded. My spiritual connection with God got to be great. Got to be amazing. To serve at a higher capacity, I got real life boundaries. I don't want to serve everybody. I want to serve those that want to be served by me. This is not a tug and pull. We partner. You're my partner. My partner in success, right? I'm your strategic advisor, your strategic guidance to success. So you're not going to come to an event like this not having left knowing what it is that you do. If you feel like at any time, if you come to the event and you feel like, Tanika, I don't know what it is, I can't we gonna figure it out. If I have to offer you an extra sales call after the event so you can get it figured out, so you know, fine. That's me over delivering, and that's fine. But there won't be one person that leaves their room that doesn't know what they're supposed to be focusing on for where they are. I'm meeting you where you are, and I'm telling you this is the best direction to go based off what you have presented to me. So again, that's a level of intimacy, because you have to be transparent with me about where you are so I can give you the next best guidance for where you need to go. If you're not transparent with me, I can't best guide you. I can only go off the information that you give me. I'm not here to judge nobody. I don't have a heaven or hell to put nobody in. However, I do have several success vehicles to put people in for those that want them, right? So there's an early bird special on tickets going on right now for the Confidence to Coin workshop. I have paying for options also available. The early bird options for the tickets are staying early bird until April 30th. okay? Because this is my birthday month. So I'm giving you all $300 off each ticket. Currently right now, trying to get the link. Currently right now, the general admission tickets are $697. Their regular price is $997. This is a one-day VIP workshop experience. It's going to be from 8 to 5. And when I say I'm pouring, I'm pouring. That's why it has to be in person. I can't let it not be in person because virtual just would not hit the same. The general admission is $697 for right now. Okay, it's $697 for right now. The VIP admission is $1197 right now. Regular price $1497. So you're getting $300 off until April 30th. There are paying for options available. There's Klarna available at checkout. If for whatever reason you cannot get approved for Klarna, you have issues with Klarna, that's fine. Send me a DM and I will put you on a payment plan for your ticket. But your ticket has to be paid for before you arrive here on June 15th. Because I only want people who are serious to be in the room. There are only 30 slots, 30 or 35. We have a very nice facility that we're going to be in. The food is going to be of quality. The experience is going to be of quality. I'm going to make sure that you get all the fuel and everything that you need, the nurturing, the love, the hugs, everything that you need to be successful in this space on that day. And hopefully after you leave. And if you decide you want to work with me after the event, there will be an opportunity for you to put in an application to work with me. That is fine. Okay? But I just put the link in the comments. So if you want to do a payment option and Klarna is not a option that you can get approved for, but you still want to do a paying for option, send me a DM. Let me know. Okay? So we can get you in the room so you can get what you need. Okay? So if you all have found value from this series, from this topic today, I have one more topic that I'm doing tomorrow for this confidence check series, geared towards women leaders and women business owners. If you have found value from this series, share this series with somebody. Okay, share today's live with somebody. The other two parts are on my page. You can go back and watch the replays. If you want me to send you the link directly to them, just send me a DM. I have no problem. If you have questions about your specific issues based off what we discussed here today or any other part of the series that we have already done, send me a DM. I'm inviting you to talk to me. I am not going to bite you. I am not going to slander you. I'm not going to make you feel small or belittled or make you feel like you should be at a certain place other than where you are. That is not for me to determine. However, know that I'm a natural born problem solver. I'm cold at what I do, and I probably am going to make you look at some things very, very differently by the time you get done with the conversation. Okay? All right? So I love you all. Thank you for tuning in today. For those that have stuck with me, it's been a great session today. I'm looking forward to being back on here at 12 p.m. CST tomorrow for our last session this week as a part of this series. And yeah, I'm going to bring it. So y'all show up and show out and let me know what you all need. I'm here to help. Okay? See y'all tomorrow.